everyone, and welcome back. And Green Landfall is what we are playing today. We got a lot of new cards and a full-fledged new mechanic that works well with it, as we knew Landfall would transform these type of cards into being a great deck, especially with Bristly Bill and Tifa being so devastating of a combo on turn 2 or turn 3 when you play Bill, or play Tifa, play Bill, play land. Now Tifa's hitting for like 8 on that turn, so it's obviously a very high impactful play. But with all the new Earthbending cards, we get to flex out and be more resilient than we've ever been in a deck like this. And that is a lot thanks to Badger Mole Cub. When this creature enters Earthbend 1, whenever you tap a creature for mana, you add an additional green, which helps us in a lot of weird spots where we don't necessarily want to play our land right away. With that extra mana we can make from the land or Landware Elf, we're able to actually play a 3-drop and a 2-drop before we ever actually play a land. Other than that, we have Earthbending Ascension. This card is kind of a sleeper card. I actually enjoyed playing it today. But whenever this enchantment enters, we Earthbend 2, then search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, Landfall. If we get up to 4 Landfall triggers, once it's spin and play, whenever we play a land, including that 4th one, we'll put a counter on a creature, and that creature gains trample. So some Earthbended land early can then become a massive threat later whenever we are giving it trample, along with like Bristly Bill triggers maybe, and things like that. Then we have Toff the Blind Bandit. This enters Earthbends 2 as well. Its power is equal to the number of lands we control. This comes up a couple of times, but I do like this card as a reset card. For example, we get board wiped. We play this for 3. We make a land into a creature, and then she's also a creature, so it works out really well. We get 2 creatures back on the board immediately, and we're able to attack with that land right away. One thing I will say, it took until my very last game before it was like relevant. I think I could have made other game actions that would have made it matter. I forgot that Earthbending a land gave it haste. So I do make a comment. I'm pretty sure, well, we have to do it a certain way, because if we turn a land into a creature, it'll have summoning sickness, but I didn't realize it gave it haste. So I did mess that up a little bit, but we do well without that information. And with that information, I think it would have played much better. But for the final card, that is also a very good card. I kind of slept on this a bit just because, again, I forgot about the haste part. But Earthbend X, where X is the number of forests you control. This turns out to be a very good game ender. This is kind of why we'll play World Soul Raids, but this is just on theme of mono green, so we don't even have to do that. But oftentimes it's going to make a land into like a 4-4 or a 5-5, and typically when this matters is after that board wipe, when you need to just get that last little bit of damage in. And I think that's what Earthbending provides more than anything in a deck like this, is we can always kind of get a crack in with Tifa for like 8 or 10, or like Chocobo 1 and 2 if we have 2 of them, because sometimes that happens. We can get in 4, 5, 6 damage and then get them to that 8 to 9 to 10 range. And it gets pretty hard to close out the game against some of those decks. But with Earthbending giving everything haste and cards saying like non-land permanents, that means our creature lands are actually really weird and awkward to remove. For example, I think Inevitable Defeat is a card that our land creatures dodge because it's a non-land permanent. So, and against those matchups, we actually have weird counterplay to it. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and dive into the games. I hope you all enjoy them, and let's go play. It's weird because I kind of want to start off with Chocobo and the Tifa, right? Instead of Land War. Although that seems bad, actually. I think it's Land War first. Chocobo, land, then Tifa. That seems like the play. I understand it takes like a little bit of pressure away, but it allows our pressure on following turns to be so high, which also basically guarantees that this Landware Elf will live. Because if it lives through turn 1, and then turn 2, their response is to answer Landware Elf after there's a Chocobo and a Tifa into play, then like I'm fist pumping. But Landware Elf, I don't think like the one counter we'll miss out on is going to be that crucial in the long run. First Lightning, sure. We hit a land. Yeah, I'm gonna start growing these guys then. And then most likely they'll stay, and we're just gonna skip past Tifa here and go right into the Hydra probably. Sure. Obviously no blocks for us. I'm good. Now it almost feels like maybe I should go Chocobo, Tifa, and just grow all these. Seems like a good play. Now we're like a fetch land away. Weirdly enough, a traveling Chocobo into a land would be insane. That'd probably just get it done. But we're in that weird hand where we drew a little too many threats. Actually, weirdly, not enough land. But Glimmer Elf answered. Turn the hand, sure. What a... Brother, update your list. If you don't know what deck list they're on the one that used to punish... This is the deck list that punished Vivi combo. And they're like, nah, I'm still playing it. There's a Hydra. See if we can draw one of our 8 fetch lands. Because we'll play a Bristly Bill and then we'll work on Wombo comboing. If of course we get there. It's not guaranteed by any stretch. Sure. Okay. That's fine. Here. Bristler. There we go for that. We're in. And we play another land. Another land would obviously be pretty awesome because then Bristly Bill would be turned on. Double Viper. This is traveling. Yeah, that's fine. Ah, non-land, huh? Yeah, now we gotta pass, unfortunately. I mean, just a land there rolls over here. Earthbend to landfall whenever land enters. Well, this actually grabs a land. It's just huge. So our opponent's going for a little bit of value here. So they can obviously upgrade this, but they can only upgrade it once. So if I block with a 2/3, they have to like invest mana to save it. Obviously, it seems fine. I should have double blocked with 2/2/3s. Why didn't I do that? I don't know. When this enters, when an opponent casts a spell with mana value 3 or less, creature deals. Sure. I mean, we got to do this, right? Yeah. I mean, we're over investing into Tifa, of course. Sure. Tifa. Tifa. 16, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, it's going in. Everything done. No 2-mana play here. But we'll try. I'm going for Glimmer Elf. Hopefully it sticks. Obviously, we hope it stays. Unlikely. Unlikely. Alright, we do hit land, though. So we go Chocobo. And we hold here. And then we just see if they try to remove it with another stab, of course. The only thing, I guess, downside is I'm most likely going to crack this one in step anyway. So maybe that's obviously a punt. Instead of just making it too big to die to a stab. But stab is typically like a 1 or a 2 of. So realistically, if I die to double stab, then I die to double stab. Sure. Get my traveling chocobo. If they have a second stab, they have it. I'm not messing around. I say I'm not playing around that ever. I could play Tifa here. Very unlikely to live, but probably just should, right? Because then my baby Chocobo will just get out of hand. We can Rocket Launch, Earthbending Ascension, get kind of everything cooking. What is our opponent going to do? Unholy Annex, maybe. Go to 15. And pray? Preach? They know my hand. They know everything, so... One of the best things about discard effects is you do get access to all the information, of course. When you do, if there are 4 more quest counters, then put them on a target creature control against trample. Okay. Sure. Makes sense to me. I almost feel like I want a Rocket Launch, to be honest, but I can always do that next turn. We actually want to play the Ascension. I almost messed that up. Even though I'll miss out on a thing here, I want Ascension to get as many counters as it can right now. Because it does feel like a situation where we're going to win with 1 creature. We can also do this one to the same creature, by the way, just to make it have a lot of counters if we wanted to. Deep Cavern Bat taking Rocket Launch is a position to be in, that's for sure. Here. You take 8 or block? They take 8. Okay. I feel like a block almost was a requirement there, but maybe I'm wrong. Gain 1 life, sure. Sure. We rip a Rocket Launch off. No, but we can rip a Bristler. I mean, I think we have to play it, right? 3 is the magic number here. They really deep cavern batted, then shot the sheriff. That's a little weird. Okay. Human wall, sure. Fair enough. Why block that one when you can block this one? Now we get to put a counter here and give Bristly Bill trample. Yeah. Combat these. What is up now, opponent? Yeah. Honestly, their deep cavern bat play is turning to work out pretty well for them, to be honest. Because this would be such a problem if that creature came up. They shoot the sheriff ended up being good. But, oh. Gotta block something. You don't have the choice not to. And if you leave Bristly Bill entirely unblocked, you will lose. No matter how you block. Regarding the situation. Obviously, we're going to pump this up. They live here. They go to 1. Go to 2. Go to 3, maybe. Now they might have to hold this to block. No small removal gets them there. If they pop the land, we get it back. And Bossing Say alone can win the game. That's kind of why that card's important in our deck. Because we get the Earthbend. But after all the cards they printed, the fact that this has sorcery tapped to it is kind of funny. I don't know if we've read Accumulative Knowledge yet, but man, you want to talk about a card that's messed up. 2 blockers. Give this trample. This should have everything covered. And I don't really have to do much about it. Oh, no, that only works in. I messed that up, huh? I thought... Never mind. I mean, they have to double block, I guess. I don't mind a double block here. I remove all their creatures, so it's fine. Wrong choice. I was saying, completely wrong choice. You gotta get Bristly out of there. One. Sure. Here. Make it complicated. Funny that this also has ward. Yeah, for whatever reason, landfall when a land enters. Yeah, so I have to play another land to get it to work again. I thought it was like a beginning of combat trigger, but yeah, I messed that up. Either way, beating mono black, which would typically be a nightmare matchup, is awesome to win. Interesting hand. We have new cards, so we'll obviously try it. Obviously, I would love to have like a 2-drop, considering it's our... I don't know. Green's pretty high. Or green. 2's pretty high in our list of cards. Go ahead. I thought they would have a bounce spell, so I didn't want to really like do anything. Here. So against the slower one, this is probably Aang, if I had to guess. The Aang combo deck. Oh, Badger Mole is good here. So play this land. Don't have the mana necessarily, but trying our best. Here. Weirdly enough, I want to play the escape tunnel, but I think that's actually a bad play. I think we just keep thinning off the top while we can. Here you go. Are you Appa combo? What are you? Play the Quantum Riddler. Just absurd to me. I think it's definitely... Sure, let's do this. I basically just want to get them set up to where a Rocket Lance can just win the game. Quantum Riddler in the Day of Judgment is just absurd to me. What is going on with these people, bro? Yeah, I'm going to play Riddler and then just actually be a control deck. Like, what? So we won't get our land back, which is whatever. We're just like, let's play a Riddler. Okay. Yeah? Board wipe, board wipe. Like, what? Here, I thought it was going to be the Aang deck. But nah, it's fine. A land wins. Yep. There you go. Yep, that'll get it done. So we're gonna go land Chocobo here. And then probably still playing the Cub, I guess. Okay. Alright. Well. Not playing this. Obviously attacking. Huh. That seems weird. Well, I'd love to play the Badger Mole. But if the game is going to give me plays to make, can I hold priority here? I guess it won't matter, right? I don't think it matters. You have to hold priority. I don't know. Here's a 10. I mean, that's the best part of this deck, though, right? Is like, this stuff is a very, very good supportive piece. Uh-huh. Here. One of these. Alright, cool. What a hand, bro. But I'm gonna try this. This is definitely a limit test hand for sure. What we can get away with. But we'll see. Any of them. Any at random, please. I wonder, I've been thinking about this one. I wonder if we're actually not better against like World Soul Rage now than we were previously. Or we're better, if we play World Soul Rage, we're actually better now than what we were previously, is what I was trying to say. It might just be an Innkeeper talent setup turn. I'm gonna play Tifa, actually. A little part of me thought about playing this. Yeah, here comes the Burst Lightning, most likely. Or Shock. Yeah, but if we would have set up talent, then we could have done it. They might have shocked us for value. The turns, and 24 lands, missing a land against red. Who knows? Maybe they'll fall over. Maybe they'll just never play anything. It is weird now because, like, obviously on this turn, a Screaming Nemesis isn't coming, but yeah. I have to take that out, though, because Landwar Elves is good, but not as dangerous as the other one. The blocks, of course. Alright. Yep. Sure. Name a more true thing. Playing against an aggro player and missing your land drops. So, yeah. Good thing I'm a landfall deck. Yep. Uh-huh. This is an old-fashioned mono green hand. So, you know, it's just Landwar Elf into Hydra if it lives. And if not, we just jam like a Bristly Bill. And then, hopefully, unlike the game before, we actually draw lands. We'll see. Went a little too fast. Running out of my shoes. Grim Bauble players? Dude, them players aren't real. Get away from me. It's the Bristler. These players aren't real, dude. They can't hurt me. Sure. Good card. Don't reveal the other card. We want 3 toughness since they're clearly playing Bauble, and Stab's another card that they could be playing. So we want our toughness to be a bit higher. Obviously, we're not overcommitting into Tifa. That'd be insane. be like a tide binder here. I don't know what they would have, but this land does just enter untapped, right? So you find something? Tap land. You knew this card. Oh, wow. You want to talk about a game that's over? Now we just spread the love. Lostborn Hydra is going to have a number of counters that I don't really want to pump it up at all. We're just going to do... You asked me how it stacks. Because I don't think it matters here. No, I still have to target, right? I don't think it matters. I'm going to target Bristly Bill here. She'll also be 8. Combat. Here. Here. And we get there against the removal based deck again. Very nice. Oh, we could do the play. We can do a play. Maybe. Gotta live. One time, bro. Let's go. Oh. And I can't backtrack that because I'm stupid. Ah! If I do the trick, I'll mess the trick up. It's fine. Oh, I can tap it for... Oh, it gives it... Gives it haste? I haven't had to make that sequence play at all? What am I doing? Badger Cub, dude. Look at this guy. Earthbending Ascension. Sure. Earthbend it up. Let's go wide here. Let's go about as wide as I ever could. I'm playing with my new cards. Here comes one Badger Mole. I have so much mana. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. There. Dude, what if they play the exile creature? That'd be so sick. They would take everything, but these lands would actually come back because they also work if they're getting exiled. Flying Double Strike Vigilance. Okay. Earthbending Ascension. So we need everything to have more than 2 toughness. So let's start with Bristly Bill. And then we want to put extra. So we're tapping Landwar Elf here. So we're going to double every counter. Let's go here. Combat. All hold. This. Oh no. I say you are beyond smoked if you don't. There's no block. You might be smoked regardless, to be honest. Well, you block 6, you end up taking 4, 10, live at 1. I think they live at 1. But we'll see. We finally commit the block, and now they're 100% dead. We win with a Bristly Bill activation. Very cool. Very cool. Overrunning. Unfortunately for them, they are a new deck too. I think there's like a blue-white flyer flash deck. But we're a new deck as well, and we ran over that battlefield. Honestly, there's probably some better decision making I could probably have done in between those turns. Especially like, I don't know, using the Badger Mole correctly. But I forgot I gave it haste, so it didn't matter. All right, so here we are, and I would say that the video was a success, especially considering that I was playing the Earthbend mechanic a little wrong. I didn't realize that it gave haste. I didn't realize that was incorporated in its text. I just thought Earthbend 1, target land you control gets a 0/0 land creature with haste. So I should have been, with this card, and I know there's a couple of examples of it, I should have been like playing it to reanimate these, because these I can always sack and then get them back, and it's basically a free land drop. Obviously I'd lose a creature there, but if we have something like a Chocobo down, right, we can then play this Badger Cub, bring up this Fable Passage potentially on like a turn 3 or something like that, and then sack it, and then it would re-enter while also getting us some land. And then next turn we have another land to sacrifice and go get more land, right? So it's definitely a weird thing. Cards in this deck that I definitely think are worth playing. One, the Cub. The Cub is good. I do think Earthbender Ascension, I think this card's actually good. It's a little bit weird. It doesn't necessarily seem that great, but it is 3 mana. Make a creature. That's a 2/2 from one of your lands. And then it also goes and gets you a land, which can matter a lot. And that's a pretty strong thing. It's kind of the same reason you play Traveling Chocobo, right? As you really want that top card to be a land and helping get us extra ETBs. But, you know, with Bristly Bill playing this, getting a land up with a couple of counters, then helps Bristly Bill use its bottom mode of doubling the counters, which came up more in today's video for me than it ever did in any of the other times I played mono green. And that's saying something, because normally the problem is we lose creatures, we lose them, and then we're just done. But Earthbending is able to help us crawl out of those spots and just keep presenting threats that are problems over time. And then if our opponent doesn't really do anything, which sometimes happen, you know, they use everything early to remove a Chocobo, remove a Tifa, and then board wipe to get everything else clear. They kind of run out of things to do, and then you can hopefully, with Earthbending, outlast them. And then whenever you have all that extra mana from kind of playing in the stalled game, Bristly Bill is able to be played and then activated almost immediately. So, weirdly enough, felt way better than I've ever felt about a mono green landfall deck, because typically I've been a very negative, I don't want to say negative person because that sounds wrong, but I've been very against this deck typically when it comes to playing it, because I'm just like, there's so many better options when it comes to aggro. And one of the things too with Screaming Nemesis gone, we don't have to worry about making a creature too big because it can now block accordingly, whereas before Screaming Nemesis we couldn't, like a 7/8 Chocobo could literally be backfire central if we have to block a Screaming Nemesis, right? Because then, you know, we're getting slammed for 7 because we have to assign all 7, right? But yeah, this is good. And then Rocket Lance is actually really nice. I don't know if I want to play more than 2, because obviously this card is much better when you have 5-6 lands in play. So you don't really want to cast it on turn 3. This card really does read like I'm a 5 mana card or a 6 mana card, where its flashback cost resides. So honestly, a lot of times casting it on that turn 5 and then flashing back for 6 can oftentimes be very good. Toph, the Blind Bandit isn't necessarily bad either. I think it fits in that same category of Earthbending Ascension, you know, where this does come in and is a threat, but then also makes a land a threat, and then that works really well. And I do think a card like Innkeeper's Talent can find a lot of value in a stack. Maybe better than Bristler in like some games. It'll be better than Bristly Bill because of the ward, and then also like doubling the counters. Because again, whenever you want a more counter to be put on a thing, you double that. So whenever you Earthbend something and put extra counters on something, for example. Like, if we're in that weird game where we have to try to win with bossing, say, and then we're Earthbending 2, now they're 4/4s, and then Innkeeper's Talent trigger will happen, put another counter on it, and now they'll be 6s and able to attack because Earthbending again has haste, now that I know that. But with that said, it worked out a lot better than I think it would have. I do think we're a bit high on our 3 mana caliber threats when we don't necessarily have that good of a mana dork like option. If we had 8 elves, obviously I think this many 3 drops would be good, but I just think right now we need to be playing either another 1 drop that we can kind of move counters onto, or other 2 drops that we want to play that are impacting the board. So it's really weird, but it worked out well. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.